Tēnā koutou katoa, good evening. Kiri Allan has announced she'll be leaving politics for the foreseeable future. She's decided not to run in October's election following her arrest over a car crash.
Her departure and the ripple effect it's created has the opposition raising questions about the stability of the government, especially after one of Chris Hipkins' senior ministers resigned his portfolio over the call to can the wealth tax. Political editor Jenna Lynch has the latest.
We should support
Ministers reluctantly rising to debate their mates' mental health.
It is with regret and a heavy heart that I rise today to speak.
We did not need to have this type of debate today.
Kiri Allan's close friend and confidant Willie Jackson holding back tears.
This is such a sensitive issue, and we've got someone who's going through a terrible time at the moment.
After listening to a personal struggle become political.
What I'm saying to you is there has been a series of daily dramas within this cabinet.
We now have a government that has no more gas left in the tank. It can't even field a full cabinet.
What's your message to people who might be politicising this?
To stop it, because she's clearly going through hell at the moment. And she doesn't deserve this.
Just last week, Kiri Allan was back at work, owning and opening up about her personal battles.
Yeah, I've struggled with my mental health for a good part of my adult life. That's something I try not to shy away from.
She'd taken some time out. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
We all had our doubts, but in the end she made it clear she wanted to come back.
Come Sunday, she was struggling again.
On Sunday, I was very sad because she got in touch with me at 6 o'clock and said she was a bit lonely and she wanted to go for a kai, and I wasn't in Wellington at the time.
As we now know, that night ended at the police station and her arrest ended her ministerial career.
The offending over the weekend was serious and should be taken seriously.
Not ruling out ever having her as a minister under your leadership?
Yes.
So today she bowed out of politics altogether, posting on Instagram, "For now it's time to step out of the arena. I'm not sure how long for or if I'll return. I have decided I will not stand again in the East Coast electorate for this year's election. I need to take time to heal myself."
I know that she's sick, and I think that she needs to just take a lot of time out.
I acknowledge that it's a very difficult decision that she's taken.
Allan apologising to the Prime Minister, saying, "I've undermined you and the trust you placed in me to do an important job for New Zealand. I cannot express the remorse I feel. I am so sorry."
Prime Minister, is it starting to feel like Labor's going to lose this election?
No, we've still got 80 days to go until the election, and we've got a big job ahead of us to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward.
Hard when every time they put out a good foot, it's stomped on by a bad one. Yesterday, David Parker was removed as Revenue Minister at his request because he disagreed with Hipkins killing off a wealth tax, a public display of dissent.
I thought it was untenable for me to continue, so I suggested to Chris that it was in the best interest of him and the party that someone else take that role.
Are you absolutely certain that David Parker will be an MP after the election?
Yes, of course.
I think it's just another daily soap opera, isn't it, really? I mean, it's a cabinet in chaos.
Are you presiding over a cabinet of chaos?
No.
Regaining control of the cabinet, a key part of retaining the keys to the beehive. Jenna Lynch, Newshub.
Meanwhile, a Radio New Zealand board member is facing questions over his public commentary about Kiri Allan.
Political reporter Lloyd Bird joins us now. And Lloyd, what's going on?
Yeah, this is newly appointed Radio New Zealand board member. His name is Jason Ake, and he's been pretty outspoken in the past. But when you're on the Radio New Zealand board, you've got to be impartial and you have to be independent. But he's had a few issues regarding the coverage of what's happened to Kiri Allan, particularly the commentary and the politicisation of the saga. And he's been, there's some of his comments have been pretty targeted at Chris Hipkins because Chris Hipkins allowed Kiri Allan back to work, and he didn't like that he allowed her back to work so soon. But the Prime Minister and Broadcasting Minister Willie Jackson, they're not happy with some of those comments and they've told him to rein it in, but he hasn't. In fact, he's doubled down, and this afternoon he went on Facebook again and he's made some more comments. The latest one saying that mental health is a topic that needed to be talked about, particularly because it affects Māori so much. Now, Broadcasting Minister Willie Jackson, he's told Newshub that he's going to speak with the chairperson of Radio New Zealand, and he's pleading with Jason Ake, please rein it in. Of course, this is not the only board member that's been causing issues for this government. You'll remember Rob Campbell, the Te Whatu Order Chair, he was causing some problems as well, and he was later sacked. But certainly in this political climate, it is not a headache that Chris Hipkins needs right now.
Lloyd, tēnā koe.